Beth, this is a very active scene going on right now here in Jesséville. In fact, I'm going to step out of the way and show you one of the nearly dozen homes that was actually damaged because of that possible tornado. Dennis Gordon Sr. says he and a friend were walking nearby just moments before watching the plane crash. Yee, doggy. That's right, folks. There's a black rodeo coming to Pine Bluff, the first you ever seen. We're here in downtown Little Rock by 4th and Main Street. What we are seeing is, if you're driving down here in Little Rock, nothing but snow, piles of snow. Hey, happy Friday to you guys.
You as well.
First of all, Courtney Bryant with UCA says this is an opportunity for high school seniors across the country to be able to see what the college has to offer. Xavier Bryden says that his family is still very shaken up tonight, but he's thankful that they're alive after this massive tree not only landed on top of his house, but in the same room that his sons were just inches away from being struck. Beth, Evelyn Landoverdi lives just behind Georgia Elementary, where the storm destroyed the gym and part of her home.
We came outside to see, and then we see debris everywhere.
What Evelyn Landoverdi thought was just heavy rain and thunderstorms early Wednesday morning was actually a possible tornado, scaring her 5 children.
We saw part of our roof in our house was gone. Our neighbor's roof was gone. We went up to our neighbors to make sure they were okay. Everyone seemed to be okay. We just lost material.
Officials with the Springdale Police Department say the storm hit after 4 a.m. on Wednesday. 7 people were hurt, including 1 person in critical condition. Springdale Public Schools Communications Director Trent Jones says they're just thankful no one was hurt, but the gym at George Elementary is completely destroyed.
We're very thankful that all we're talking about today from the Springdale School District is property damage. That is something that we are very appreciative.
My pre-K daughter actually goes right here, and her playground was completely gone, and when she came out, she said, "Mom, we lost our playground. Now I don't have a playground."
Now, Jones says the school district was closed today, and they hope to reopen tomorrow after reassessing the damage. On your side in Springdale, Desmond Nugent. More than 10 months ago, the family of Terrence Caffey believed he took his last breath here at Movie Tavern Theater while in police custody. It's a chant and a message the family of Terrence Caffey is fighting for. More than 10 months ago, an altercation led an off-duty Pulaski Sheriff's deputy hired by Movie Tavern to arrest Caffey. A month ago, this video was released by the department, but not every angle.
I can't breathe.
You're all right.
I'm dead.
You're not dead.
The nearly 43-minute video never showed an officer holding their hand on Caffey's neck, while another places their knee on his back.
Oh, he's fine.
Nearly 4 minutes later, officers back Caffey up, and it's at this point Attorney Ben Crum believes he was no longer alive.
Our medical examiner believes he's dead at that point, and they then put him in the car.
Crum's legal team says they believe this video should have been included in last month's release and presented to a grand jury.
They made the decision not to even present the case to the grand jury, not to let the people of this city decide what happened to Terrence Caffey and who is responsible.
We reached out to Pulaski County Prosecuting Attorney Larry Jegley for answers. He says the state's constitution allows a prosecuting attorney to decide criminal cases without presenting evidence to a grand jury. When asked why no officer was criminally charged in Caffey's death, he said this.
The law's the law, and the evidence is the evidence, and the investigation is the investigation. Our ruling is our ruling.
In this letter to Pulaski County Sheriff Eric Higgins, Jegley states at no time did any officer use more physical force than is authorized by law to restrain Caffey.
He had a classroom bag on, face down. Face down on a classroom bag. It's murder, man. No other way you can put it.
According to Jegley's report, the medical examiner states Caffey died from a sickle cell crisis due to being restrained and struggling with officers. It also states Caffey suffered no other trauma that would have resulted in his death.
It was ultimately ruled a homicide. We do not disagree with the ruling that this is a homicide in any way, shape, or form.
Attorney Ben Crum says the family is now asking the Department of Justice to open a federal civil rights investigation into Caffey's death. On your side in Little Rock, Desmond Nugent. Traffic is flowing pretty smooth here on Interstate 30 westbound and Old Military Road, as you can see behind me, but both lanes near the crash site are not open yet. If you are traveling on Interstate 30 going westbound towards the Caddo Valley area, this is what you witnessed all day. Bumper to bumper traffic.
We do have the inside lane repaved, and it's now been reopened. Traffic's moving at about 25 to 30 miles an hour.
State Police says on Wednesday there were 3 separate crash scenes that resulted in 3 deaths and 11 people who were taken to an area hospital. Dave Parker with the Arkansas Department of Transportation says their crews had to fix the stretch of road that was damaged and asked you to avoid driving in the area if possible.
If that's impossible, you're going to have to take one of the detour routes at mile marker 98 to get over to 67, which takes you in and around, like Malvern, Social Hill, that area.
It was a traffic backup Joe Short and his wife couldn't avoid. They were headed home, then something happened.
The tire blew just as we were taking the exit, so we were very fortunate.
Short says they tried to detour toward the Hot Springs exit when his tire blew out coming from Malvern.
It was narrow, not wide enough for us and a tractor-trailer rig, and we met several tractor-trailer rigs, had problems getting by each other.
Short says his brother-in-law is expected to help him so they can get home safely. Now, again, officials with RDOT say if you have to travel this area, please avoid, if you can, avoid this area. But if you must, please make sure that you have enough fuel and a bottle of water. Yee, doggy. That's right, folks. There's a black rodeo coming to Pine Bluff, the first you ever seen. But don't take my word for it. Let me tell you a little story about it. Horses, pins, even manure, all the fancy fixings for a good old-fashioned rodeo.
They're calling, want to know where they're going to be sitting and all that, and the times and whatnot. So there's definitely a big interest in it.
Yes, ma'am. You're welcome. All right.
Thanks to this 20-year-old cowboy, Pine Bluff native Daniel Moore, 1,200 tickets are already sold. The convention center only holds 3,000 seats.
Most events that, are here in our city don't really get that much, as far as attendance. But to get 1,200 to start, and not to even mention the sales that are going to go on Saturday, that's pretty exciting to have that many people to come out to watch the sport of rodeo.
Moore has a passion to bring what he loves to the city that he loves. So if you're coming, it'll be a great show.
It's not an easy thing to put on a rodeo, and it's also not an easy thing being a cowboy, but it's worth it in the long run, especially putting on something here in Pine Bluff. You're going to see cowboys professionally compete, and you're also going to have a good time because we've got, entertainment, live entertainment.
If you don't know what to wear this Saturday, let me fill you in on a little secret.
But if you're coming to the show, hey, it's casual. If you've got your boots and cowboy hat and, starch shirt and starch jeans, then come on.
For more information on how to get your ticket on this wonderful rodeo, click on this story on KTV.com. On your side in Pine Bluff, Desmond Nugent.